Hi everybody, today I will show you something about these. These are the HiFiMan Arya Stealth. I would say it's a quite special headphone, at least to me. I have been purchasing this with my own money and I have bought this around 3 years ago, so in March 2022. And I have been using this headphone on a daily basis for at least 5 to 8 hours a day. And today I will want to show you something about this headphone, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and therefore would say let's get right into it. They usually costed around 1,200 to 1,500 when they released, but since then they have dropped very significantly in price. So you can get these already for around 600 to 700 bucks most of the time. So the build quality of this headphone is, I would say, quite good for the price they currently sit at. When I bought these for my own money for about 1,000 euros, I was a little bit disappointed for the price because if you just look at it, it looks nice and sleek, but the cups here are like plastic. The grill here is of metal, but it's a little bit sharp. Like if you touch it here, it feels a little bit sharp to the touch, not bad or anything like this, but I think they could have refined this a little bit more. Like this head strap here is out of metal. This little head strap here is pleather material, and also the ear pads are pleather material. They are nice and plushy though, so in the inside they have a nylon material, outside is pleather material. But now after using them so much and after 3 years, as you can see, the pads here are needing a replacement. They start to flake now, also from the inside, but I guess you don't see it that much. But at some point you really need to replace these pads. This is possible. I mean, just has a little system where you just can put them out and put a different one in there, so it's not that difficult. The thing is that you can already see with the pads maybe is that they have little lines here. They come because if you put them on like this, this little chalks here are rubbing against the pads a bit, but you do not hear this, so it's just cosmetics, I guess. So you can actually see this at some point a little bit, at least for this unit, but I didn't have much trouble with it or anything like this. Also, if you have a smaller head, like mine for example, it still kind of works good. I use this on the smallest notch, but I can imagine if you have a big head, they really go far off, so it will probably really fit. My ears do not touch at any point the driver here, because the pads are quite thick and I have enough space in here. The clamp force is, I would say quite strong to middle. I, in the beginning, had like a week or 1.5 weeks where I needed to get used to it a little bit, because it can press a little bit on the jaw, but at some point I didn't feel it at all anymore. So I think this headphone is very comfortable, at least for me. So this headphone actually comes with the 3.5mm headphone jack, so it's quite standard. And it also comes with this 1.5 meter HiFiMan cable. This time though, it is a sleeved cable. So it feels a little bit better than, for example, the cable of the Nanda Nano or Edition XX, for example, where it's just a rubberized texture to it, and this time you have a sleeved cable that is quite nice. The only thing you need to bear out though is that it comes with this thick 6.3mm jack. So it is not an adapter on here, so be aware if your amp, where you want to put it, actually has such a port. If not, it's not the biggest issue, because you can just get standard normal cable. For example, this hard audio cable I like using with these. But because of the standard ports, it is possible, so no worries. Also, something you need to be maybe aware of is because this headphone is quite open. I mean, you can see it really doesn't have any covers here, and if you hear music a little bit louder, other people in your room will definitely hear everything. So be aware of this. This is not a headphone you should be using in a train or something. And also you shouldn't be using this probably in a busy office if you don't want to disturb people next to you. So the Arya Stealth is quite efficient, I would say, for planar magnetic headphone. If you compare it, for example, to the first iteration of the Arya, this one was quite a bit harder to drive than the Stealth version. This one has an impedance of 32 ohms and 93 dB sensitivity per milliwatt. So it is not the most easy to drive headphone, but it's also not that difficult to drive. So I did test this headphone on different DEX amps in the 3 years I have been using this. And I mean, you can also use it with onboard audio, but it gets fairly loud. It's just that, you are losing a little bit of details, a little bit of bass performance. So if you still want to save up for a little bit of an amp, yes, you can use it with onboard audio, but I would strongly suggest taking decent amp with it. Also, something you may need to be aware of, though, is like this plastic cups here are starting to lose their color, at least at the point where I always touch it, like here when I put it on and off. It started like fading a little bit, as you can see here. It's not that visible, but at least it started losing the color here at this point. That's a little bit of sad if I like think about I'm having spent over 1,000 euros on this headphone and losing the color like this. It's not something I want to have like this for the price, but in general, I didn't buy this headphone because of the looks or anything like this. I wanted to have like the greatest sonic performances for the price I'm spending, and I think this headphone gave me this because it beats quite above the price point and even more after the recent price cuts. Why would I say that? For example, in general, in regards to sound presentation, this headphone really shines. I would describe it as a very airy, very sparkly, very detailed headphone that is slightly reshaped. So it has a little bit of a bump in the bass area and also in the treble area. The bass also reacts quite good to also EQ's shelf, a little EQ shelf. If you don't EQ, the bass here is very present. It hits quite deep and is quite impactful. But if you want to have a little bit more, it is possible. What you need to be aware of, though, is that this headphone is quite bright. It can be quite sparkly. So it is very good, for example, for music with violins, where you really want to have, like, you hear the strings and it just sounds beautiful, very beautiful. But if you have like sound recordings or anything, music that is a bit more sharp, for example, Ava Max, the song Whatever, or Kings and Queens, for example, it can be a bit too much, at least for me, since I'm a bit sensitive to this. It was a bit like having glass in your ear. So I indeed needed to use a bit of EQ here, or I was needing a little bit of a good DEC amp that is a bit warmer. So for example, the Chord Mojo 2 I used with these and was very good with it because the Chord Mojo 2 was a bit on the warmer side, and also the Burson Playmates 3 and the deluxe version did give these a quite good performance in regards to treble, so it was not that sharp anymore. But I also could use it with software EQ to reduce the treble a little bit. I mean, you may not have this issue, but be aware that it's quite very sparkly and airy, and it tends to be a bit on the sharp side in this regard. The mid-range is quite full and pleasant, and it also feels, vocals feel very good, like also male and female vocals. I really like these. So also in regards to soundstage and layering and imaging, it was very good. It is a very precise imaging qualities here. It has a decent depth to it, and then it's decently wide. It is not the widest or tallest soundstage, but it felt very correct, and if the music demanded for it, it could still scale quite widely. But it was, in comparison, for example, to the HiFiMan Arya Organic that I also have here currently, it is a little bit more on the smaller side. It is it's not small soundstage here, really. It's just a little bit smaller than, for example, the Arya Organic. But I felt that the soundstage here is very good, and it didn't feel narrow or anything like this. Also, the layering here, the depth to it was good. I mean, I also used this headphone a lot in competitive shooters, and it was perfect in this regard. I could really hear where sounds are coming from, pinpoint accurately, and therefore it was really good to use this, and it was pleasant. I didn't feel that I'm missing anything here. So in regards to sound separation, this really shined. When you have a busy track where a lot of stuff is going on at the same time from different directions, it didn't get any muddled over or overshadowed. It was still able to distinguish between where the sounds are coming from, separate them from each other. So this was quite good. So because this treble is that sparkly and airy, orchestral music, for example with violins on it, really feels absolutely gorgeous. I really love it. Like also, for example, the song Sadness and Sorrow from Taylor Davis. It was a quite nice presentation here. It was really nice hearing this violin playing. I can really recommend this headphone in general, also for orchestral music. It just sounds perfect. And I also think this headphone is quite versatile. So I didn't really have much areas or anything like this where it had problems. Just for example, with the Ava Maxa, where some recordings are just very bright, can be a bit too sharp, but otherwise it can be very good in nearly all areas. All right, so let's come to an end now. What would I say conclusion-wise about the HiFiMan Arya Stealth after having tested these for about 3 years on a daily basis for a few hours a day? In general speaking, I am very happy with this headphone. I did not regret paying at that time over 1,000 euros for this headphone. I did get a lot of listening time, a lot of pleasure out of this headphone. I will continue doing so. Of course, I just need to replace the pads at some point now. But otherwise, I am very happy with the sound presentation and what it gave me in this past 3 years. And generally speaking, I can think about this headphone being an endgame headphone for most people. I mean, for the price they currently sit at, I also think they are quite a steal. I can see other companies having trouble to match these at all at the price they sit at. Of course, we can fight about the build quality. I'm not happy that the paint here rubbing off a little bit, but since I'm not going outside with these headphones, the only thing that really matters to me is comfort and sound, and both of these boxes it ticks. So that is what is important to me. So this is my opinion about the HiFiMan Arya Stealth, and I can fully recommend it therefore. And I hope you have liked my video, and if you did, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button to support me a bit, and I hope to see you again next time. Ciao, ciao!